So same as usual, working at your own pace, making sure that nothing is causing pain or discomfort, as in joint pain. If you make sure that you've got the usual props, so a pillow, a ball, a block, and a band to assist if you need assistance, especially with the legs. If you're seated, trying to find a nice and neutral alignment. So same as usual, instead of dropping down too far, compressing the diaphragm and preventing it from descending easily and create that nice relaxed breath. See if I can try and pick myself up, also sitting a little bit taller, encouraging the diaphragm to move a little bit better, allowing the body and the breath to relax. If I'm lying down, just using the mat to help me support the weight of the body, keeping the knees bent or straightening up the legs, whichever it's easier for the back and whichever it's easier for the hips. And then, as well as focusing on the breath, see if I can try and guide the breath down into the belly. So see if I can prevent that sympathetic breath, that kind of like fight and flight breath up here, and then allow the body to calm down, dropping the breath down into the belly, feeling the belly expanding with the inhalation and relaxing with the exhalation. The shoulders are relaxed, the chest, the throat, nice and soft and nice and loose. Also noticing, doing the usual scan over the body, noticing how the pressure feels at the back. So if I'm lying down, is the left and the right side, do I feel the same pressure under the left shoulder, under the right shoulder, under the left hip, under the right hip? Are my legs in the same position? Are my arms in the same position? Is my head centered slightly off to the side? If I'm seated, is the pressure under the seat bones the same, or does it feel as if I might be leaning to one side more than the other? I'm going backwards or forward, and the shoulders are stiff, is the neck tense. I'm not changing anything, just trying to notice where you are at the moment at the beginning of the class. And then, as I feel a little bit more settled with the breath, with the body, then I'm just going to start mobilizing through the spine. I'm going to start moving the head. I'm going to turn the head to look over the right shoulder, come back to center, and then turn it to look the other way. Without forcing, just noticing the difference in movement, right and left side. Noticing if there is any pinching, any catching, making sure that I'm not causing pain. And at the same time, just notice if the movement is truly coming from your neck, so from the head turning or from the shoulders moving. So especially as I'm seated, as I've got all this space around me, I might not actually be turning the head. I might be turning the shoulders instead. So see if I can think of the shoulders keeping still and just the head moving. 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to turn to look over the right shoulder. And then this time, holding the head there, I'm going to hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, just see if you can turn just a little bit more. Hold it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, to see if I can relax a little bit more. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, you go in a little bit further if you can. And then returning all the way back to the middle. Then same thing to the left side. So I'm going to turn to look over the left shoulder this time. Holding it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, to see if you can go a little bit deeper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep in. And then as I breathe out to see if I can go a little bit more. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep breath in. As you breathe out to see if you can go a little bit further. And releasing back. Releasing the neck, relaxing the shoulders. Hopefully a little bit of movement through the cervical spine. I'm going to go from rotation into a little skull roll or flexion extension. So if I'm laying down, it's a little bit easier as the floor is guiding me. The head stays on the floor at all time. I'm going to push the chin into the throat, as if I was trying to give myself a double chin. And then really try to lengthen the back of the neck. So as if I was trying to put the back of the neck flat on the mat, or the back of the neck on the wall behind me. Then I'm going to reverse. I'm going to lift the chin up and away from the throat. So lengthening down the front of the throat. I'm going to look up. I'm going to try and look back as far as I feel comfortable. And then I'm going to release. I'm going to tuck the chin, giving myself the double chin again. And then releasing. And then extending through. So working with inflection extension, so see if I can feel the different shape in the neck as I'm moving the chin, as I'm retracting the chin and then protracting and lifting it up to encourage more movement into the cervical spine. Just making sure that the movement is not causing pain. So there's no shooting pain, there is no referred pain down the arms or tingling into the fingers. Then to try 2 more times. So I'm going to push back and then lifting up. Noticing, especially on lifting, when you're lengthening the front of the throat, notice if the tension is the same or different. So like for me, the right side tends to be tighter, feels tighter. The left side feels quite loose, but the right side feels quite tighter. So as I lift the chin up, I can feel quite a strong stretch on one side, but not the other. So I need to check if my head is centered, if I may be drifting off to one side, and that's what's causing the discrepancy between right and left. Or it might just be different tension, right and left side. So I'm just going to focus on the stiffer side, see if I can release it. Last time. And releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the neck. Just a little bit more movement into the cervical. I'm going to start moving into the thoracic. The same as I did for the neck, I'm going to start with a little rotation. So if you're lying down, I'm going to stick the arms out, clasping the hands together, keeping the hands apart, and then I'm going to start rotating from side to side. If I'm seated, I'm just going to cross the arms onto the chest, and then allowing the shoulders to relax. So really trying to let them go. I'm going to turn to one side, come back to the center, and then turn the other way. Following with your eyes, following with the head. So especially if I'm seated, that I can use the bigger space around me. Turning the head to look around the shoulder. See if I can encourage that little bit more movement into the upper back. And then turning the head to look around the other shoulder. See if I can rotate to the other side. Same as I did for the neck. Notice any difference. So I might find that on one side, I feel that I can't turn very far, or the movement maybe a little bit more restricted. I have to put a little bit more effort to that. If that's the case, I'm just going to try and spend a little bit longer working on that side. So see if I can try and ease some of that tension away. 4, 3, 2, 1. Easy back to the middle, same as I did for the neck. I'm going to rotate to the right, and then I'm going to hold my rotation. I'm going to turn to the right as far as I feel I can go. I'm going to hold it there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, to turn the head to look around a little bit more so you can turn a little bit deeper. Hold it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, to see if I can go a little bit more. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, to see if you can go deeper. And then easing everything back. Same thing to the left. So I'm going to rotate to the left. I'm going to hold it steady. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, just see if I can turn more, turning the head to look around, encouraging that rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep in. As you breathe out, just see if you can turn further. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, to see if you can go more. And releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the back. So hopefully again, a little bit more ease into the rib cage, into the upper back. Same as I did for the neck. From rotation, I'm going to go into a little flexion extension. So if you're seated, think of the movement happening at the top of the spine. So I want the back of my rib cage to change shape. So I'm going to push the breastbone into the back of the rib cage. I'm going to try and round the back of the rib cage. And then I'm going to try and pull the breastbone out of the rib cage. I'm going to try and extend and lift it through. So I'm going to flex and extend, using the arms to give me a little help if I need to. If I'm lying down, I might want to use the hands to support the head as I come up into flexion. So without pulling on the head, just carrying the head. Then I'm going to drop down. I'm going to push the rib cage up to the ceiling. See if I can try and lift the back of the rib cage off the mat. And then ease it down. Flexion into extension again. So as much movement as possible. Same as I've been doing so far. Just making sure that the movement is not causing pain. And then same as usual, noticing any restriction, because the right and the left side moving the same. Is the pull of the back, is the pull of the front, or the same, is it different? Is one direction easier than the other? 3. 2. Last time. And releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the back. It's a little bit looser at the top. I'm going to bring the focus down into the lumbar, into the lower back. I'm going to start off with a little pelvic tilt. So if I'm lying down, I'm just going to again use the mat to guide me, tilting the pelvis back. I'm going to press the lower back into the mat, and then going forward, I'm going to go back into neutral. So just a gentle rocking forward and back. So again, noticing the pressure between the right and the left hip. Is it the same? Does it feel as if one side is kind of pressing harder than the other? Is the back stiff? If I'm seated, this time I'm going to bring the focus down into the lumbar spine. So not the thoracic. So I want to keep the upper back as still as possible. I'm just trying to create movement down into the lumbar, into the lower back. So see if I can try and reverse the curve, go into a little flexion, and then bring myself back into neutral, into that gentle extension. So rocking back onto the back of the tailbone, and then lifting up onto the seat boots again. Rocking back onto the tailbone, and then lifting up onto the seat boots. So same as before, using the arms to help me with a little push, and a little hold, to create that movement. So noticing if you tend to compensate from the top again, so it's my upper back that is doing the majority of the movement, and I try and hold the upper body as still as possible, and then really trying to encourage the movement to further down into the lower back. Feeling the belly tensing to help me draw in, to help me hollow in and push the lower back backwards. And then I'm going to try and rock forward and relax. And again, drawing in from the belly and then forward and relax. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And release the back, releasing the hips, releasing the lower back. Again, just a little bit more movement at the bottom of the spine. I'm going to change the direction one more time. Instead of going into rotation, which lumbar doesn't really rotate that much, I'm going to try and go into a little lateral flexion. I'm going to go into a little hip hitch. So if I'm seated, I'm going to try and hitch the right hip up towards the right side of the rib cage. See if I can make my right seat a bit lighter, and then I'm going to drop it back. Then I'm going to try and hitch the left and drop back, hitch the right and drop back. So feeling the pelvis, so gently rocking side to side at this time. If I'm laying down, the back of the hips is staying flat against the floor. I'm just trying to shorten the right side of the belly, pulling the right hip towards the rib cage, and then easing back, and then shortening on the left side. So gently from side to side. See if I can notice that gentle connection, like working to the obliques, to the side of the belly, working a little bit harder to create that pull, to create that lift. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it back. Easing the hips back to the center, relaxing the hips, releasing the pelvis. So there's a little bit more movement through the order of the spine. I'm going to see if I can start combining above and below together. I'm going to shuffle the feet and the knees nice and close together. Raising the arms up and towards the ceiling, keeping the hands apart or bringing them together. And then I'm going to take the arms to the left, and then with the legs, I'm going to go to the right. So I'm going to rotate the upper body in one direction, and the hips, the legs in the other one. Then I'm going to come back to the center, and then I'm going to twist it the other way. If I'm seated, as the sequence are seated on the chair, so I can't really move my hips, I'm just going to use the opposite arm. So with my right hand, I'm going to reach across to the left leg. I'm going to push the legs off to the right, and then I'm going to turn to look around the left. Then I'm going to ease back, and then with the left arm, I'm going to push the legs over to the left, pull the legs over to the left, and then I'm going to rotate to the right. Coming back, and then swapping over to the other side. So keeping the rotation going, trying to create as much movement as possible through the order of the spine. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, returning the shoulders, returning the hips back to the middle, and then this time I'm going to keep the focus onto the hips, onto the legs. I'm going to keep the feet and the knees nice and close together, and then I'm just going to start opening the legs out and away from each other. So I'm going to go for a double knee drop. So I'm going to open, and then I'm going to close. See if you can picture the movement. So think of your thigh bone. It's not just moving outwards, it's turning out and opening at the same time. So I'm going to rotate out and open the knees, and then I'm going to turn and close back. So see if you can picture that rotation, the little extra movement deep into the hip joint. Same as usual, using the arms to help me push the legs out, using the hands to help me pull the legs back in. If I feel that I need a little support, or I feel that I could go a little bit further, but the leg's quite stiff or it's not responding very well, and then I'm just going to accompany back to the middle. So imagine two sets of pulleys onto the side of the bum, and to pull your legs out, and onto the inner thighs, trying to pull the legs back in. Make sure that, especially if you're lying down, as the legs open, there is no pressure at the back of the pelvis, so nothing seems to be pinching or catching into the back of the pelvis or into the hip. And then I'm going to close again. 5, open, 4, trying to squeeze the knees together to touch. 3, 2, last one. Opening the knees as far as you can, hold them there. So if you're laying down, just let gravity do the work. So the weight of the leg is just dropping down towards the mat, towards the ground. If I'm seated, as gravity can't help me, I might use my hands on the inside of the legs and my gentle pressure, see if I can create a little bit more of a stretch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back. Returning the legs back to the middle. I'm going to try and focus on the arms this time. So I'm going to bring the arms to the front. It doesn't matter if I'm lying on the back or sitting up. I'm just going to reach the arms in front of me, straight if possible, bent if I find that it's a bit too heavy on my shoulders, it's a bit too much tension on my neck. And then from there, I'm going to turn the palms to face up. And then I'm going to start opening the arms out to the side. So if I'm laying down, you're going to be touching your thumbs to the floor. If I'm sitting up, imagine to be putting your thumbs on the wall behind you. And then I'm going to close back. So I'm going to open, and then I'm going to close. If you're laying down, obviously you're limited for space as the thumb touches the ground. I can't go any further. If I'm seated, I've got a little bit more space. So if I can, I try to push the arms back slightly to encourage a little bit more stretch across the front of the chest. But just make sure that as you're trying to make the movement bigger, it doesn't feel as if the shoulders are suddenly shrugging out and the body's hunching forward and coming over to the front. So see if I can stay tall, the shoulders are down, the neck is long, the arms are nice and relaxed. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the upper back. I'm going to go back into the legs. I'm going to stretch a little bit deeper this time. I'm going to do a little bit of a resisted stretch. So same as before, I'm going to let the knees open out as far as they can go. Then with the hands, I'm going to try and push the legs out further. So I want the legs to go deeper, further out, further apart. But as I do so, this time I'm going to resist with the legs. So I'm going to push in with the knees, squeeze in with the legs, and push out with the arms. I'm going to hold that tension. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, deep breath in. As you breathe out, relax the legs and push it with the arms. See if the leg wants to open up a little bit further. Hold it there. I'm going to try again. I'm going to push out with the arms and resist with the legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, just stop resisting with the leg. Keep pushing with the arms if the leg wants to go a little bit more. Last time. Squeezing in with the legs, pushing out with the arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, just stop pushing with the leg, keep pushing with the arms and see if you can open up a little bit more. And release it back. Relaxing the legs all the way back in, bring the knees nice and close together. And then I'm going to see if I can combine this time, the legs and the upper body. I'm going to play a little bit with coordination. I'm going to reach the arms to the front, the same as I did before. Drop the shoulders down and away from the head. I'm going to open the knees and the arms at the same time. So I'm going to open, and then I'm going to close everything together. I'm going to open and close everything together. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Easing the arms and the legs back. I'm going to try again, but this time I'm going to reverse above and below. So as my arms open, my legs close. As my legs open, my arm close. So I'm going to return the arms back into the starting position. I'm going to keep squeezing the knees together. I'm going to open the arms. And then as the arms come together, I'm going to open the knees. As the knees come together, I'm going to open the arms. As the arms come together, I'm going to open the knees. So swapping over, and then swapping again. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the legs, allowing a little rest, especially for the shoulders, for the upper body. As if I'm sitting, the arms are start getting quite heavy. I'm going to stay with the legs, but changing the direction of the movement. I've got a little bit more movement in and out. What I want is a little bit more movement up and down. So, as usual, if the leg is a little bit temperamental, so I can't control it very well, then I might use the band. I'm just going to put the band, the strap, or the hands around the back of the leg to help me guide that leg into that little lift. And I'll just be repeating on the same side. So I'm going to focus on the right leg first. I'm going to start lifting the right foot off the ground and then easing it back down. So these times, if you can think of the intention, the tension being at the front of the hip and into the front of the belly on that side. So the belly working to help me stabilize the lift, especially if I'm seated, or even if I'm lying down, making sure that my back doesn't arch. And then the leg moving up and down into that little lift. It could be a tiny lift, the foot might actually stay on the floor. It could be minute. It doesn't matter. Just to see if I can be aware of the muscle deep into the hip, twitching, biting, tensing, to try and create that little lift. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing down, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. I'm going to try the same thing to the other side. The same as before, I can use my hands to help me. I can use the band of the strap, or if I feel that I've got enough control over the leg, I'm just use the strength of the leg for as long as I can do that. And then same as on the other side, see if I can think it deep into that front of the hip. See if I can feel that little twitch into the muscle, trying to pull up on the leg. A little tension onto the side of the belly that's preventing my upper body from kind of like collapsing as the muscle starts pulling on the leg. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing down. Relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. This is a little bit more connection at the front. This time what I want is to try and connect at the back, so opposite side. So from flexion into a little extension. So if I'm seated, I'm just going to see if I can bring the feet just a little bit closer to the chair. And then leaning forward into the legs. I'm going to push down through the soles of the feet. See if I can feel the legs tensing. So just to begin with, see if I can create tension into the legs. And then I'm going to ease. Leaning forward over the legs. And then progressively see if I can put more pressure into the legs. Using the arms to help me, as if I was trying to lift my bum off the chair and then sit back down onto the chair. If I'm laying down, I'm just going to give the tension through the legs and then squeeze in with the back of the bum, see if I can get the hips to maybe lift off the floor. And then I'm going to pop the back down. Then see if I can lift higher, see if I can lift the hips and the lower back off the mat. And then I'm going to ease the back. See if I can go even further, see if I can lift the hips, the lower back, and the back of the rib cage. I'm not arching the back. I'm just trying to open up the front of the hip as much as possible, as much as I can. Making the back of the bum and the back of the leg work together to create that lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then last one. And releasing back, relaxing the hips if I'm laying down. I might want to have the knees into the chest so that I can stretch the back of the hips, stretch the lower back a little bit more, making sure that there is no tension left into the lower back and into the back of the pelvis. And then I'm going to get into a little hamstring stretch. So I'm going to grab hold of my band or my strap. I'm going to set the band, set the strap around the right foot. And then straightening out the leg. I'm going to gently start pulling it towards me until I can feel the stretch running down the back of the leg, back of the knee, back of the calf. If I'm seated, same as usual. I can do the same, so I can put the band around the foot, straighten up the leg, and then gently trying to pull the leg up. The leg goes quite heavy in this position, so what I might try is to straighten up the leg And then instead of trying to pull the leg towards me, I'm going to ease my body forward towards the leg. I'm going to flex it forward from the hip and then easing my way forward until I can feel a little pull coming down the back of the leg and into the back of the knee. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease in the stretch. Switching the band around with the left foot if I'm going to be using the band. I'm setting up the left leg. If I'm not going to need the band. So same as on the other side, I'm going to straighten up the leg as much as I can. And then I'm either going to pull the leg towards me, or I'm going to try and pull myself forward into the leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ease it back. Releasing the tension from the band, relaxing the leg, releasing the hip. There's a little bit more movement again into the hip joint. I'm going to go back into the opening and closing, working with the coordination again. I'm going to shuffle the knees nice and close together, and then opening the arms to them, reaching the arms to the front. This time, instead of working both arms and both legs, I'm going to work one arm and one leg together. I'm going to work same side. So I'm going to start opening my right knee and my right arm out to the side. I'm going to bring them back together, and then I'm going to open my left knee and my left arm out to the side. And then back together again. Same as usual, if I'm struggling with the leg, so the leg doesn't want to follow the arm, then with the arm, I'm just going to encourage the leg to move out and then to come back in. And then I'm going to swap, move out, and then come back in. So see how far I can open on one side, how far I can open on the other. One combination might be feeling easier to move, then the other side might respond a little bit better. 4, 3, 2, last time. And release it back, relaxing the arms, relaxing the legs. I'm going to try one more time, changing the coordination, changing the combination again. So this time, instead of opening same side, I'm going to open opposite sides. So I'm going to reach the arms to the front. I'm going to open the right arm and the left leg out. Then I'm going to come back. I'm going to open the left arm and the right leg out. And then come back. So opposite sides moving together. And then coming back in again. Opposite sides moving together. And then coming back in again. And then maybe notice in the combination, does it feel easier to control the leg, or do I need to kind of like think a little bit more which side to move? Is it moving better? Is it moving worse? Is it not moving? 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the hips, and then I'm just going to again go back into a little stretch, but this time I'm going to try and release the side of the hip, the side of the leg. So if you're laying down, if you're seated up, if you can, I'm going to lift the right leg up and then cross it over to the left. So I'm just going to cross one leg over the other. With my left arm, I'm going to pull the leg across until I can feel the stretch into the side of the hip, into the side of the body. If I can't lift the leg over, it's too heavy, won't go, too stiff, then I'm just going to reach across with the hand, and then I'm going to try and pull the leg across as far as I can, see if I can get just a little release down the side of the hip, possibly across the back a little. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ease it back. Returning the right leg back, crossing the left, or reaching across with the arm, pulling the left leg across to the right. See if I can get a gentle stretch going down the side of the hip. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Returning the leg back to the middle, resetting the legs back to a comfortable position. If you're lying down, rolling over onto your side, and in your own time, pushing yourself back up into sitting. Finding your comfortable seated position, finding the seat bones as if you can raise yourself up onto the seat bones. Creating the space at the front of the belly, using the arms as a little support behind, or if you're close to the wall or a sofa or something that it's not going to be moving, I might just lean on the sofa, I might lean on the wall to give me a little support to that. And then once that I feel that I've got that support enough to be able to sit up, then I'm going to try and open up the front of the body. So imagine that line that goes from your chin down to your pubic, but I want to stretch that line as much as I can. So I'm going to start pushing the chest forward and then lifting up. See if I can lengthen and lift through the belly. I'm going to look forward, I'm going to look up, I'm going to look back as far as I can. And then I'm going to release and come forward, allowing the chin to drop down to the chest and the shoulders to come forward. Rounding the back as much as you want, as much as you can. And then back in reverse, I'm curving your way back up to the top. Extending your way, lifting up, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then release and coming forward again. Rounding the spine, allowing the head to drop, the neck to relax completely. Last time, extending your way up and try to create as much space as you can at the front of the body. Looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then release it back to the front. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow, give yourself a couple. Any question or anything as usual, please say. Remember, you need to unmute yourself.